I'm a survivor.
I'm Jeff Varner from Survivor's Australian Outback in Cambodia. You know, when Abby's acting up, Gandhi is storming off, or Deb is looking for rocks somewhere, you are exactly where you need to be. Oh my God, this is delicious. Who needs food when you've got Dwayne and David? This is Survivor Talk with D&D.
So if you feel me, put your hands
Hello, everybody. I am Dwayne Stroud. This is Survivor Talk with D&D, and I'm here with my best friend, David.
This is David. Yes, on the air.
Yes, it is. Very good, David. You are David.
I don't know what intro you're going to do every time we go on now.
I know.
You're doing something different every time we come on.
I messed up.
You don't tell them that you messed up. You just say, yeah, that's what I meant to do.
All right. Tonight we are reading, listening, and discussing your thoughts on the new cast and season of Survivor Kaôh Rōng. And this is our That's What You Think episode. And so we're going to do that. It is also our 250th episode, David.
Congratulations to Wayne.
250th episode.
That's a long time to do something with anybody.
Of Survivor Talk with D&D. We started, our first episode was January 20th, 2012. And there'll be a couple times during the show, I'm going to play a little clip from our first ever show. And this was our original opening of our first ever podcast right here. The following podcast was recorded live in front of no one. This is Survivor Talk with D&D. I'm Dwayne.
I'm David.
We're just two buds talking about a show we love, Survivor. So, David, why don't you tell them what we're going to be doing tonight?
Tonight, we're going to be introducing you to the 18 contestants that are showing up this season on Survivor. And once again, we return to the islands of Samoa.
That's right. And then you went on to tell us all the history of Samoa. It was awesome.
Oh, it was terrible.
I was like,
wow.
Wait, this is Survivor.
We needed a Red Bull or something.
I'm Dwayne. I'm Dwayne, and we're here to introduce to you the 18 contestants.
and if you're still awake at the end, we might talk about something else.
That's right. Wow. So that was episode number 200. That was 250 episodes ago, David. How's that for crazy?
That's a long time.
We have some upcoming shows. Next week is our D&D Survivor Challenge Draft episode. Next Thursday night, we'll have David, Kelly Wentworth, and Colton Cumbie will be competing. Well, we'll be drafting against me and Dan Foley, and we will draft our teams and talk about each player as we draft. If you're wanting to know the point system for the draft, for the D&D Survivor Draft, Challenge Draft, just go to our website, and there's a logo right in the middle. Just scroll down a little bit, and you'll see it, and that's how we score. Grab a friend and draft with each other and play on your own, or join our Facebook group and submit a team without even having to draft. Just pick your 9 best players who you think are going to do the best and submit them and play on the team. I don't know how, David, you're not here right now, so you may not be able to answer this, but do you know how many players we have already signed up in the fantasy, not the fantasy, the D&D Survivor Challenge on our Facebook page group?
Nope.
That was easier to think than it was to say. You don't know? Well, Andy Westover does that. Shayna, of course, who's one of our bloggers, keeps tally of the score all season long. So thank you for that. Then the next week, Thursday, February 18th, Jeff Varner joins us for our recap and discussion of the premiere episode. And in case you think anything fishy is going on, we asked him about a month ago. So he's been on the docket for a while. And hey, David, just thought I'd let him know. We're not trying to copy anybody. So anyway, Sunday, April 3rd, that's 2 months away. What in the world? Well, that is Kelly and Friends, a patron podcast. It's going to be a call-in show for all of our D&D patrons as of April 1st. So if you're a D&D patron by the end of March, then you can participate in this conference call with Kelly Wentworth, and she's going to have 2 or 3 of her Survivor friends. We'll announce those as it gets closer. So it's a thank you to all of our patrons, both longtime patrons and those of you who decide to join between now and then. Thank you so much. David, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Durham Warrior Survival Challenge?
People, are you ready? Because that's the tab you need to click on when you go to www.durhamwarriorschallenge.com. Have you ever thought that you could play Survivor, but like me have 0% chance of getting on the show? This is your weekend to go prove that you could play Survivor. It's June 23rd through June 26th. It's in Durham, Maine, one of the most beautiful wooded areas that belongs to Bob Crowley that you could ever visit. And it's awesome. I can't talk enough about it. If you go to our webpage, you'll see all the podcasts we did where we talked about it. We talked to John and Andy about behind the scenes. We talked to players that played along with me, including the winner. We talked to survivors that played along. It's an amazing 4 days. It is a crash course of Survivor. It's the whole game in 4 days. When I played, it was 24 people, and we got down to one winner over 4 days. It's amazing, and it's great. It supports the Wounded Warrior Project, and it's just an amazing thing. Go to www.durhamwarriorschallenge.com, and you'll see everything. And when you click on the tab that says DWSC 2016 ... Are you ready? The picture on that page is just epic.
Does it have you in it?
It does have me in it. It has me and the people that voted me out as soon as we went to tribal council. Yeah,
that's why it's epic.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, so if you want to play Survivor, get your application in now. I think it runs out at the end of February. They stop taking them and they start casting.
Well, hey, and you know, we had Troyzan on and you had Jill on. We've also had Nina on since. All three played in 2015, and all three said it was as challenging, if not more, than the actual game.
As well as Joel. Joel was on our first podcast. Joel from season 1 with Wendy, the woman that won.
Yes. So Durham Warriors Survival Challenge. If you want to know more about it, you can also listen to our Durham Warrior podcast. There's a tab. It's one of the menu items on the top of our webpage.
She's gonna get me for calling her a woman. She's my age. The girl that won. I'll say it that way.
Well, you're a man, so that makes her a woman.
I'm a guy. She's a girl. Anyway, awesome, great fun.
I have to do something about my lighting.
Well, that's not a lighting issue. It's
old age issue. By the way, my goal is to be under 230 pounds by the patron podcast.
Cool.
So I'm at 242 right now, so I should be able to. I've lost 16 pounds on Weight Watchers. Anyway, if you're watching and chatting together live on stwdd.com/live, thank you. Enjoy yourselves. Have a lot of fun. And if you're not, you're listening to this later, join us live sometime. It's a lot of fun. All right, David, are you ready to get started with the feedback? Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you?
All right, let's do it then.
So was that the got started clip? No, that's the let's do this clip.
Yeah, that's
you got me worried. I was worried about that.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, I was worried. I thought you were going to dump something on me.
Okay. Before we get to our feedback, we only have 3 feedbacks, so David and I are going to have a little leeway tonight.
Yeah.
You get a little early D&D tonight. So this was about 8 minutes into our first podcast, and David decides to tell us a little story. So here's about a 30, 45 second clip.
My favorite moment of ever watching Survivor was after Hurricane Isabel, and you guys were without power. You came over and we watched the first episode of the new season of Survivor, and it was the episode where Rupert was in the season, and he came up and found the group that had dropped their shoes, and he sold the other tribe's shoes to get money to take with his tribe to Survivor. And that was a year that Sandra won, the first time she won.
That's right.
I do remember that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Now that's whenever those of you who are listening, all 4 of you.
4? David, I think there's going to be 4.
Well, at least I have a couple friends who might be listening. We met in Virginia, so that's where David still lives, and I live in Alabama. So, but anyway, yeah, I
don't think there's any part of Virginia left because I think I breathed it all in.
Those early episodes, man.
What was the first mic? Was it the ear headpiece with the mic?
Yeah, it was
that
a
came
little
right to my nose?
Plantronic,
Yes.
little Plantronic headphone, and it picked. I mean, and like it was like right here, and you'd be like, every time you would speak, you would exhale. And I'd spend hours editing it out. I remember that, but then you started taking asthma medicine or something, and you stopped it. I don't know.
No, I got this shield screen on the front of the microphone.
No, you actually corrected it. It was actually something that you fixed on your own. It really wasn't a mic thing. It was just you figuring out not to breathe out after you speak or whatever.
Hold my breath for long periods of time.
Yes. David doesn't breathe the entire podcast.
That's why I'm holding my hand up to speak so I can breathe.
David, every time David breathes, he hits the mute button.
Every time David breathes, you lose to Wayne. That's what it is.
Oh, man.
I did that for a while. I would hit the mute button every now and then when I couldn't talk.
There is I actually have been very kind to you, David, because at the end of the last clip that I'm going to play tonight, it was like a 5-second. And I just decided to take it out.
What did I? Okay, thank you for taking it out. What did I do this week?
All right, let's get to it. First, we have David. He's going to read Lazarus Metcalf. So, David, take it away.
Great closer look show, D&D. I really enjoyed it. The blogger guests were good. Colton was especially entertaining for his short stint on the show. I agree. Colton's always entertaining.
Yes, he is.
So Lazarus starts by ranking the tribes. At number 3, he puts beauty. Number 2, he puts brains. And the number 1 tribe, obviously, he thinks is going to be this season is the Brawn tribe.
Yeah, well, I guess we all agree with him on that.
Let's see. As we've seen with Cagayan and Worlds Apart, the collar tribes are pretty much the same thing. Brawn tends to do well. This cast does not appear to be any different. Overall, I like the personalities and the tribe makeup more. Looking at this beauty cast, now you got me thinking about breathing. So you should never play that.
You don't do it anymore, David, so don't worry about it.
All right. Looking at this
only occasionally.
Yes. Looking at this beauty cast, now people are going to listen though.
I just did it.
Breathing. He's breathing. Can you hear him? That's David breathing. We get away from the microphone. Sorry, lads.
It's like he's the one that prank called me. I know it.
All right. See, each feedback is going to take 35 minutes. That's why we're going to spread it out.
If you're being really careful with your breathing, then yes.
All right. Looking at this beauty cast, I am really worried about their long-term chances. For someone to be successful out of this tribe, they will have to adapt well. Medevacs, even.
I'm sorry. I was watching you and you're like, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Take it away. Hey, you got to answer the last, not me. Okay, medevacs. Even though I like Braun, Scott and Sydney stand out as medical risks due to their muscle size. Add Caleb to this from beauty and Joe from brains for his age. Add to that from the preview where Kyle Jason is concerned about his shoulders. I think these 5 are among the pool of those most likely to be pulled. Has nothing's been confirmed that there's a medevac this season, right? Just that it's a horrible season.
No, I think some of the previews actually
show
very clear that there are several medevacs, at least 2.
Okay. I mean, we do know it's a grinding season on these people, whether it's conditions or whatever, but yeah.
Well, and I mean, even to the point that they're making that CBS is making that the theme of one of their previews. You know?
Yeah. We were talking about that earlier. How does that, I don't know. Does that worry you?
It doesn't worry me. I honestly think what they're doing is they're trying to get people that don't normally watch.
Yeah.
It's like, there's a wreck on the side of the road, so I'm going to stop and look at it. So I think it's the whole rubberneck thing. They're hoping to gain some viewers because they want to see people get,
This is
hurt.
like the stunt shows where they show you the death possibility of the stunt to get you to watch, and they don't show you necessarily how the motorcycle was made or how the jump was built. They just show you that somebody might die. Okay.
Right.
So somebody might die this season on Survivor. That's what we're just letting you know. So
no, that's not what we're saying at all.
Okay. He goes on to give one favorite from each tribe. From the Beauty Tribe, he likes Julia just because Alex doesn't. No, I'm just kidding. I added that part in there. He likes Julia. Yes, she is young, and it is a risk. One blogger was very against her. He did say that. Read the bio. Her brother has been a health risk his whole life. She has traveled to foreign countries to teach English, etc. If there is a young contestant who proves to be a young exception and be wiser, I can see this from her. I like Ty, but I'm worried if he'll be on the outs.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Lazarus. I just can't agree with you. David agrees with you, I think, but I don't.
I do. I like Julia. I'd like to see. You never know. The one old person or the one young person, you never know what season they're going to step out. On the brains, he likes Joseph, an older contestant who appears physically stacked. Age/culture differences can have something to do with older people being voted off, but the physical older people usually do well and are not picked off. I think his job experience is huge, which I agree. If he is not a medevac, I see him making the merge at least. David, he is smiling in his cast photo at least. Yeah, but he looks like he's in pain. No, not in pain. I don't mean in pain. Just that, okay, here's your smile. Take the picture now. I'm going back to intense Joe. All right, from the Brawn, he likes Jennifer Lanzetti. Her personality jumped off the page at me before I had even watched the videos. She has been through a lot and will be prepared for the mental shifts in the game. She is built, but not overly like Sydney. I do not know what it is, but I am especially excited for this season. It is hard to pinpoint, but looking back retrospectively, I like this cast a lot compared to all the other first-time contestant seasons. I think we may be in for a treat. I just hope that the medical evacs don't alter the game so much post-merge that it is traumatic to the game outcome. You might remember we were getting ready for the first podcast. I was slow to come around. It's like I knew. It's like once you get to the first "Who the heck are these people?" podcast, it's like you're opening the can on the peanuts, and you might as well eat them all, or they're going to go stale.
Or
so
in my case, the cashews.
Okay, but like Laz, I think it was this week. You probably noticed a difference in my messaging that I couldn't wait for tonight.
Yeah,
we've been testing your equipment and stuff, but still, I'm like, I'm ready. Let's talk. I'm ready for the season to start.
Yeah.
The more these people, if you don't follow them on Twitter, follow them on Twitter and Facebook because they're posting pictures from the CBS commercials and they're really high definition pictures. They're really good, and it's just I don't know. It's working on me. I can't wait for the season to start.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great season. And the thing about the evacs, if there's several of them, that has potential to totally change the game.
Exactly.
Because you may go into next week thinking, okay, this person obviously has it, but then someone in their alliance gets medevaced and now they're at the bottom or whatever. So,
I mean, and I know that Colton's first season, there was controversy over whether he was medevaced or he quit. But still, if he had gone back into the merge with a few people, because he was kind of leading that group that he was with, he could have split up the people that were there and it could have been a different game. I think Kim Spradlin still would have found a way to get to the end, but you never know, what a medevac can do to a season, what it can change.
Right. Speaking of Colton, here's what we thought of Colton 250 episodes ago.
Figure. All right. So who's next?
Colton Cumbie.
Trying to find him here real quick.
He's a 21-year-old college student from Monroeville, Alabama.
Oh yeah.
How far? I won't say how far that is from you, but
I don't.
It's in your state.
I have no idea where that is. He's the big Survivor fan, is what I wrote. I think he may be a big Survivor fan. I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that.
Because he said when he turned 10, he had a birthday party, and he only invited 15 kids so they could have a 16-person Survivor game, which he, of course, won because he was the birthday boy.
Right. I remember that now. So let's see what else did I put about him. He said he was a people person, that he's outgoing, and I wrote that he talks very fast.
I wrote, did he take a breath during the video?
A minute and 45 seconds of no breathing.
He does talk a lot, obviously, but he did sound pretty smart about the game.
And there was my laugh. The laugh that we have been ridiculed for a couple of times. I think we had a review once that was like, I'm in for a good time and all, but one of those guys just overlaps way too much. And they were talking about me.
Yeah, that was about 246 episodes ago.
Yeah, I think so.
Like 94. I think I had a drooling problem. That sounds more like a mouth issue than it is a nose issue.
I don't know. But if we get the iTunes reviews now that go, David needs to fix his breathing, I'm going to be like, oh, crud. That was 250 episodes ago.
It almost sounds like I'm on some sort of illegal medication. Like I'm just taking something in.
All right. Wow. Next, we have Emily from Finland. And she says, hi, I'm Emily from Finland. And I started listening around San Juan del Sur, but this is my first feedback. In my opinion, I like it more when you do the recap episodes and feedback episodes apart, so people have more time to do their feedback. But whatever. I'm going to give my opinions about the cast. Well, we like that too. To be honest with you, that would be our preference. But it doubles the amount of time that we're podcasting during the week, which takes that much more time away from our families. So we kind of decided to do this. So sorry. Brains. Peter. I'm getting Garrett vibes from him, and I like him. But I feel that when he hits merge or tribe swap, he will be gone. I got to look up and see who Peter is. Oh, yeah.
Peter's Peter. The ER doc. Okay. I was going to say, can you look at all the pictures and name everybody without looking at names? Obviously.
No, not yet. Not
really?
Yet.
Then I'm definitely excited about this season because I can look at the picture and name everybody.
Oh, nice. All right. Next, we have Aubrey getting huge Shireen vibes from her and this new Brains tribe. Doesn't want to be the new Luzon, so they vote out the weak one. All right. Debbie. Debbie's Tiger Woman, right?
Yes. Yeah, the chemist.
Or Lion Woman. I never can tell the difference. Anyway, I don't like her because I'm getting Carolyn vibes, and I didn't like her either. But I still predict her at least placing in the final 7. Wow.
That's
final
specific.
7. And then Joe or Joseph. He's okay, I guess. All I know is that he was an ex-FBI agent, and he followed me on Twitter. Really? Wow. Really? Emily? Why did he follow you on Twitter?
Was he still working or was it since he's been retired?
Is Jason going to be coming after you soon? Or is that what's... Anyway, early merge boot. Wow. There you go.
That's all he gets for following on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's an early merge boot.
Neil, I really like him, but I feel that he might get evacuated because in his CBS ads, he said, quote, I will never quit, and I can put up with pain more than most people, unquote. I really hope that he won't get evacuated, but I'll say 15th out. 15th out? That's 3rd place.
That's funny. I thought the same thing when we were doing the Who the Heck Are These People about Peter and Neil. Peter's the doc and Neil's the guy that said he won't quit, that they would be the ones who medevac. 15th. Yeah. Oh, so you don't think she means 15th place. You think she means 3rd out? 15th. Well, that's pretty far.
Well, okay. Well, now that might be what she meant, but she wrote 15th out. So that's what I thought. But she may mean 15th place. I don't know. And then lastly, Liz or Elizabeth. Love her, but she probably will get booted from being too smart late merge. All right. Now
I like specific predictions. Well done, Emily. I like specifics.
And she's not done. Let's do the beauty tribe. Caleb, don't care much for him. Beast mode, cowboy. And I agree with Alex about keeping him as a shield. Early merge. Nick, he is either really confident or just a dishback. Oh, she wrote something else.
Yes,
you wrote
I edited it. Yes.
Okay.
I actually like dishback. I think that was pretty. It just popped in my head.
But I think both. So she thinks he's both confident and that. With that, I said, with that said, I see him going either very far or very early, but I can see that he will get a Drew Christie boot episode.
That's funny. I see him going first or last, or maybe somewhere in the middle.
No, she didn't say somewhere in the middle.
I know.
So it's either early or in the end. So we did have some people on Twitter go, oh, come on, y'all. Nick is just an act. It's all an act.
But we saw it right away. So will they see it and get rid of him for it?
I didn't think it was an act. You do, and Alex does. I don't think it's an act.
Oh, I think it. No. I think it's he's gonna act like he's a certain way, but they're not gonna buy it. But the way he acts is because of who he is. I think.
Right. Okay, Julia. I really like her and hope that she can get over the age factor. Middle merge. Ty, Yao Man 2.0. He is okay and will make it far, but won't win. 5th or 4th place. Anna, I really like her, but why is she on the beauty? But why is she on the beauty tribe? I mean, she's a poker player. It's really good for her to be in the beauty tribe because people will underestimate her. She will finish at final 5 to 7. Michelle, didn't think much of her, could go either way, but frankly, I don't care. And then Braun, her favorite tribe, Kyle Jason. My favorite is a bad arse and gotta love the beard. I hope he wins, but I think he will finish early merge. Wow, early merge. Darnell, I think Darnell will win this game. Oh, there you go. He is social enough and not too big of a strategy threat or physical threat. He might not be the obvious one, but I think with his personality and with a great social game. Okay. Alicia, there she is. She is really meh, and I kind of like her, but I feel that she might. That seems contradictory to me. She's really meh, and I kind of like her.
I kind of read it like she's really meh, and I kind of like her. You know, as in like I like her, but she's still kind of meh.
Okay, she's really meh, and I kind of like her, but I feel that she might be the first boot from the Braun tribe. First boot. Well, I could see that. Yeah. All right. Scott, he is boring and will be either early merge or pre-merge boot.
And his Dwayne did not stutter in his feed. That was actually, she wrote it that long.
Yes, she did. And then Jennifer, I think she'll be another medevac and will go early. Okay. Sydney, people seem to like her, but I don't. I think she will be getting booted after tribe swap or merge. All right. Great feedback. First feedback from Finland. I don't know how they talk in Finland, but it's probably not like this.
No, it's not English or British. No. Unless they're on vacation.
How would you talk in Finland? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what their accents are.
We need her to call in next time.
Yes. Emily, call in next time.
$425 or whatever money that
you can use SpeakPipe and just go to our feedback page and there's a link. You get 90 seconds. 90 seconds of talking.
Sorry, I'm thinking 6 seasons ago that people actually call in and get
well,
charged.
We do have a call-in number. I don't remember what it is, but we do have it. Yeah, it's listed on the top of our website.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Guess who keeps up with all the technical issues, all the technical side of our podcast? Me.
I would say that
Guess
the
who
same guy
shows
that
up?
did it 6 seasons ago.
Yeah. Guess who shows up and shows his beautiful face and talks? David.
That's moi.
All right, David. Read Brian from Maryland.
Hey, Dwayne and Dave. I've listened to some preview podcasts and checked out some of the videos, and I have a cast assessment and predictions. This season, I'm dividing the cast into players and pawns. The players will probably have some sense of what they're doing and will drive the strategy of the season. The pawns will mostly be along for the ride, but a couple have potential to figure out the game as they go. What about the pawns that never figure out the game and still make it to the end? But we won't be talking about any top 10 drivers or anything like that. So I think the pawns of season 32 are Joe, Peter. These are the pawns. Yes. Joe, Peter, Alicia, Sydney, Darnell, Scott, Caleb, Julia, and Ty.
Scott, Caleb, Julia, and Ty. Oh, okay. All right.
The players he feels are Aubrey, Debbie, Elizabeth or Liz, Neil, Jennifer, Kyle, Anna, Michelle, and Nick.
Okay.
All right. Do you think I have them in the right category? Let's look at that real quick. Do you have that in front of you?
Boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. Without looking at pictures.
No, I have to look at pictures.
Joe as a pawn. I think he could pass himself off as a pawn, even though he may know more of what's going on. Joe, the FBI agent.
Yeah. Well, okay. I don't think he'd be a pawn because I don't think people. Okay, a pawn in that they may get rid of him early, like sacrifice him, but not a pawn as in take him to the end. So
right.
pawn
Peter
as in they sacrifice him.
Okay, Peter the ER doc. I hate to say it, but I think he could be a pawn. I just don't get a sense of play. Alicia. Yeah, I'd agree. I could agree with that more so than a player. I mean, We're guessing at things we haven't even seen the first day.
I know.
Sydney, possibly. I liked Emily's.
They're all possible pawns.
They're all possible.
They're all possible players. I don't have any idea. Plus, I don't want to give too much away because we got a draft next week.
That's true. All right, we won't get too much. Yes, Brian, as far as you're concerned, you have them in the right categories.
Yes, I agree completely with your assessment, Brian.
Yes, I'd like to offer some advice for people trying to pick a winner. All right, so listen up, folks. If you haven't got your fantasy pool picks yet, here's your advice for picking a winner. Usually, I can eliminate certain contestants as a winner pick based on historical performance of certain attributes. Here are just 3 examples. So Brian's not giving you the whole formula. He's only giving you 3 steps of the formula. Number 1, the oldest person on the season has never won. For season 30, this oldest person is Joe.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay, David.
And that's true. I looked it up, and when Bob Crowley won, he was actually only 57. Jillian Larson was 61 that season. The biggest man in the cast photo has never won. Sorry, Scott.
Okay.
The oldest woman has never won. This would be Debbie. And as far as I know, that's true. If I'm wrong on the stats, somebody correct me in the Facebook group. I'm sure they will.
They will. But they'll do it kindly because our Facebook group is awesome.
Yes, it is. But I think he's right on all 3 stats. Now for my winner pick. All right, so this is Brian's winner pick. I'm guessing a woman wins this time, and the 3 on my radar are Liz, who is on the Brains Tribe.
That's Elizabeth Markham, right?
Okay. Michelle, who is on she's the bartender.
Beauty Tribe. Michelle.
Beauty Tribe. And Anna, who is on the Beauty Tribe, because we were just told by Emily that she's on the Beauty Tribe, the poker player. It's a close call, but I'm choosing Michelle, the bartender, who's also traveled quite a bit, which means she will probably crash and burn. Sorry, Michelle. If you lose, it's Brian's fault, not ours. Enjoy the season, everybody. Brian in Maryland.
In where, David?
Maryland.
It sounded like you said Maryland.
Oh.
In Maryland.
In Maryland.
In Maryland.
Maryland.
All right. Oh, sorry, I was distracted. Thank you, Brian. That was awesome. Okay, we're going to give you another clip from our first episode. This is our very last clip. And I thought, wouldn't it be funny to hear what we thought about the winner of that season? So here is what we thought about Kim in our very first episode, 250 episodes ago, as our viewers rapidly leave.
The second to last one is Kim Spradlin, but now on some of the clips, they put Kimberly underneath her name. So I'm not sure it's going to be Kimberly or Kim, but she's 29, bridal shop owner from San Antonio, Texas. I wrote, well, first of all, I like the fact that she's a business owner. She's been an outdoor adventure guide, so she's going to be good with people, because I've been on those water rafting tours, and those water rafter tour guides are fun to be around.
Yeah.
She also mentioned, like the other people, she's not going to tell anyone that she's been an outdoor adventurer guide.
Right. And I love what she wrote. She's my second favorite person, by the way. So Chelsea's my first and Kimberly's my second. She said, I'm going to figure it out as I go. So, and that's exactly what Sophie did whenever, won last season. It's exactly what she did. She said, I didn't go in with some specific strategy. I just figured it out based on who I was with and who I was around. And that's what Kimberly said. And I think that's a really good way to attack it.
It's funny because I wrote in all caps, no strategy.
Yeah.
She's got no strategy going into this game. You talk to people that make it to the finals and they say, I had a alliance the first day I got there. And I mean, she might pick up on that right away, but that just, I don't know. I hope she doesn't call too many people animal names, because that's what she likes to do, but that'll get her kicked off pretty quick.
Right. So you and I have a different opinion on this then. Do you think?
I liked her.
What's up, guys? It's Will from Wonder Lake again, a.k.a. the Giant Ninja. Well, shopping season is upon us again, and if you'd like to support the podcast while you're doing your online shopping at absolutely no cost to you, Just visit www.sgwdd.com/Amazon or go to D&D's website and follow the links. Now back to the show. Later, peeps.
So our first season,
Mhm.
you had a much better feeling about Kim. And me being the idiot that I was, the fact that she had no strategy, I was kind of joking her about that, was what was right about her strategy, is that she wasn't going in with a defined strategy. She was going in with an open book, like a
flexible
book with no words in it, that she could write her own strategy as she went.
Yeah.
So, awesome.
Yep.
And it's funny. It's funny that I was so worried about us giving away our locations in that previous clip that I said, well, you don't have to tell how far you are away from Fulton is.
We wouldn't want anybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that everybody knows where we live.
Oh, man. Oh, well, that was fun. Those were fun days. I wonder how many people listening right now listen to that first podcast. Have you listened to all 250? There's actually 260 on iTunes, but some of those are shooting the breeze episodes, so we don't count those. So anyway, so next week, man, we're gonna have some fun next week.
Yeah, we do. Before we do that, Miriam's got her feedback in our chat room real quick. It's just a few lines. She forgot to call in. She goes by Vader Girl too, doesn't she?
Yeah, she goes by Vader Girl.
Here I am. She says, I forgot to call in. I can message. Anyway, final three. She picks Neil, the ice cream man, Anna,
I like Neil,
the poker player, and Darnell, the postal worker. She thinks Peter, the ER doc, goes deep and is out final jury. So I guess fourth place. Yeah, that is my final four.
What? Yep. Come on, Miriam. Peter.
Peter final four. First boot is Nick. The fake. I mean the life coach. Yeah. She thinks Anna is going to win. Anna, the poker player. That's her pick. So it's never too late to get your thoughts in.
She wrote, "Yep." Oh, Peter, Peter, pumpkin eater. All right. If you haven't seen it, we do have Movie Talk with D&D, Star Wars, Super 8, lots of great movies that we've talked about. David, I gotta tell you, man, I am if you have not seen Revenant, and I know it's rated R, but I'm gonna tell you it's rated R because of like violence and stuff. So if you have not seen Revenant, well, have you seen it?
Yes.
Well, since you've seen it, we know something about Michelle Fitzgerald that we're not gonna tell everybody.
Okay.
Come on, her last name Fitzgerald. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway. So anyway,
well,
you need to go.
But it's not rated R for Quentin Tarantino violence. It's the violence of life back in those times, Indians and settlers, and all that. That's the violence that's involved, and it's pretty.
Dude, that is
real.
The absolute best bear scene I've ever seen.
That was something else.
That was incredible.
It's like a medevac. It changed the whole focus of the movie.
Yes, it did.
It changed the course of the movie.
Yeah. And what's crazy is I went to see the movie knowing nothing about it.
Really?
So I didn't know there was a bear attack. And I'm like, dude, he's getting attacked by a bear. He's like the main character. How in the world is he going to get out of it? I mean, and it's not like he fights the bear. He just kind of lays there and let it happen.
And I've seen enough movies with you, knowing that now I can hear you in the movie theater going, oh my gosh.
No,
my gosh.
I was very calm.
Were you really?
Yes. All right. Miriam says, just from what I have seen on Twitter. See, I don't guess I follow Peter on Twitter yet. Peter is real active. He was born. Yes, he was born.
How about that?
My son was born also. Yeah, that's cool. In Okinawa. Hey, I lived in Okinawa till I was 3 years old. He is Swiss pot doctor. I don't know what that means. He seems very enthusiastic. I think Peter goes deep. Darnell is also very confident. So is Neil, who is challenging Trump. What? Oh, well, you guys need to watch the 100. You will love it. Great for podcasting. It's like Lost.
Okay. Since she brought that up.
Oh, the 100 is a show.
Yeah. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
I ran out of my stuff to watch. Where that came from. And one day at lunch. And when I go to work now, because of the with the work that I do and stuff, when we go to lunch, don't call me. Don't do anything. Dwayne's the only person that can message me or on Facebook. But when I'm at lunch, don't bother me. So I pull out my phone and I get on Netflix and I see what's on there to watch for 30 minutes. And she had just posted, I think, in our Movie Talk Facebook group about the 100.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, let me just go in there and see what it is. And it's about the Earth after I want to say it's a nuclear attack or something, and the whole Earth has been exposed, and the survivors go up in a space colony, kind of like a space shuttle, not a shuttle, but it's a colony. It's like a giant orbiting satellite type thing, and they live up there for a long, long, long time.
Okay.
And that's all I'll tell you about the plot, because in the first 10 minutes you'll see the plot of the show.
All right.
So, but the problem I have, and I was just talking to Gracie about this, the problem I have with this show is that it is a typical American TV show. And that what they did at casting was everybody that society thinks would be beautiful, step to this side. Everyone that society thinks is not as beautiful, step to this side. So the first group that society thinks is beautiful, you're going to read for all the lead parts, whether you can act or not.
Oh, see, I don't like that.
The people that are not are going to read for the other parts. This is why British television is so good. They don't care what you look like. They care that you can act.
We know you're missing half your teeth and the other half are all yellow and black, but we still want you.
Because you're funny and yes. So now the premise of the 100 I liked. So I am going to go back and finish. I only got 30 minutes in, but I'm going to go back and finish the episode and maybe continue watching it. Okay. But I have to say that I was a little disappointed in that. I felt like I was watching a modeling class for all the main characters, and then the rest were just in the background.
Okay,
that kind of bothered me. And they weren't perfect acting, but I liked the premise of the show. So I'm gonna watch it a little bit more.
Okay, so Miriam says we have to get past the first 3 episodes.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to try that, because right now I'm watching the show Doc Martin, and but I'm watching that with Connie, so I can't like come home and watch it. So I've been coming home for lunch and watching Hoarders and stuff, and I'm really missing a good show. So I'm going to go back. So I'm going to try to find 100 and watch it. Yeah. Although You Better Call Saul has gotten on Netflix, and I haven't ever seen that.
Oh my gosh. That show is amazing. It is almost as good as Breaking Bad, but totally different, even though it's the prequel to Breaking Bad. It is amazing.
Guess what?
What?
We have this guy that goes to our church, right? He sits on the front row, great guy. He's an actor. He's a professional actor in Hollywood, even though we live in Alabama.
Yes.
But he was on an episode of The Walking Dead.
Was he in so much makeup you couldn't tell?
I don't watch The Walking Dead because it bored the heck out of me.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Dwayne is the last person that does not watch The Walking Dead.
I tried it for over a season, and it's like, oh. So anyway,
really?
Yeah.
Where'd you?
Oh. Wow. Anyway, so apparently he was like a doctor or something, and he was laying on the bed, dying, and someone crushed his face with something. That was his role. He was one of the extras that got killed.
I wonder if that was an early scene.
I don't know.
Because it starts in a hospital. But The Walking Dead is like Lost with an obvious villain. The villain is the zombies because people are trying to survive. Well, I'll be honest. It took the graphic novel to get me to watch it. But once I did, now I'm all caught up.
All right.
But this is an example of shooting the breeze.
Longmire.
Well, we are halfway in. We just got past a major section.
Oh,
yes. We just got past a major segment of story. And now I think the story's getting ready to restart into something else. So we just got to a major finish, a major portion early on.
Did someone die on a chair?
Someone stopped participating in the show. Yes.
Were they sitting on a chair when they stopped participating in the show?
I think they still had the drink in their hand.
Yes, indeed. Okay, how about a couple episodes before that when he did the horrible thing?
Yeah.
How about that?
People are like, just go ahead and spoil it.
Oh, my God. No, I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Man, the first 4 or 5 episodes were just even better than what it used to be on the A&E. I think it was on A&E. Now it's on Netflix, and Netflix is doing really well. I really like Longmire. I'm getting ready to start watching Chef's Table. I also listen to the Slash Film podcast, and they talk about a lot of different shows they watch and stuff. Yeah. And I'm all about cooking, so I'm going to start watching that one.
All right. So Miriam says The Walking Dead rules. The reason I think Nick is out first is because of his Twitter. Only follows 2 people and doesn't speak of Survivor. Who is that? Who'd she say?
Nick is the life coach.
Nick. Oh, yeah. Nick. Woo!
Now,
Darnell is calling people out. So is Peter. And it's interesting to see who follows who. All follow Anna, Neil and Peter and Darnell. And also Joe messaged me. Well, be careful of Joe. He's a handsome older man.
Could be investigating you too. So
yeah.
But what something Emily said about Darnell, about him having all the stuff to make to the end, it's true. And if he comes across as a likable, sociable person, he could be 5th or 4th because they're not going to take him to the end. Yeah. They're not going to take it a guy that could use the money if he gives that story. But so I don't think I wouldn't take him to the end because he'd get a bunch of votes just for that reason. So what else do you watch? Anything else you're watching?
No.
Keeping Up with Downton Abbey.
Oh yeah. Are you watching it this season?
Yes.
Oh, it's so good. But this Sunday night, I won't be watching it.
Why?
Sunday night, I'm watching the Super Bowl.
Oh, it'll be over by halftime. So
it doesn't matter. I'm still watching it. And okay, I can't decide which team. I don't know who I want to win because I would love to see Denver win because I'd like to see Peyton win. Right. Mm-hmm. But I also like Cam Newton. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't mind seeing him win. But I think if I had to weigh it out, I think I'd rather see Peyton win because Cam's going to win later on. So I'd like to see Peyton win.
This is why we're best friends, because I could just say ditto.
Okay.
Peyton Manning fan, and I want him to win because I think if he wins, he'll say, I'm done. If he wins, he'll say, that's it. I'm going out on top and I'm done. But I like Cam. Of course, I'm close to Carolina, so I like Carolina. I like how dominant they are, and they're so strong. And I do think if I had to pick somebody, I'd pick Carolina to win, but I'm probably going to end up pulling for Peyton in Denver.
Yeah. Well, Cam is so humble.
Yeah, you'd never know he was winning.
Yeah, sarcasm.
But I agree. I think Cam's got several opportunities to win down the road. Whereas Peyton, this might be his last shot.
Absolutely. Miriam, let's see. This is funny. I don't think Joe's a medevac. I think Caleb is the medevac. Nick is the RHAP fan. Yeah, I think Nick used to write for Rob, has a podcast. But isn't everybody an RHAP fan? I thought everybody was.
Sure.
Yeah. He may know my brother, a major in the Army. Okay. Oh, me. No. I was not in Okinawa because of the Marines. I was in Okinawa because my dad was in the Air Force. So, but anyway, so yeah, I want to see a good Super Bowl game, and then I will watch Downton Abbey after that, and watch get because of anyway.
I don't think it liked your erts because it broke up. So I couldn't know what you're saying.
Okay, all right.
I'll be cooking pre-games. I don't have to listen to any pre-game. I'll be cooking for the youth at church.
Yes.
So,
all right. Let's see. Well, and by the way, I meant like all survivors are Rob fans because heck, man, you want to be a Rob fan. He's got 15,000 Twitter followers or something. So he's got a huge audience. So you'd be foolish not to be a Rob fan.
His staff has 10 times the people following them.
Yes. Yeah, he has more staff.
Yes.
Oh, I love Rob. He's a great guy. All right. So don't forget to shop Amazon. stwdd.com/Amazon. All right. Whether you watch or listen, thank you for tuning in, sharing our show with others. We didn't have any iTunes reviews this week. So get on iTunes, subscribe, leave us a review, not just a star, not just 5 stars, but go ahead and write something nice and we'll say your name and we'll talk about it. And it'll also help us get moved up in Survivor searches for podcasts and everything. So you also help us finance the D&D shows when you do become a D&D patron. That's awesome. And you get a few little patron perks, and the big one's coming up in April. So, all right, that's all I got. How about you, David?
I'm good. I'm ready. Let's get the season started.
No, I don't want to get off the air. We're only like 48 minutes in, 49 minutes. This is weird. I'm not used to being this short.
I'm like you. I don't want to give anything else away because we got a draft next week.
And I haven't even talked to Dan about this yet. Let me guess. You and Kelly and
you
and Kelly and Colton have already had Skype calls, and y'all already know your draft order and everything, don't you?
Would it make you upset if I said yes?
No, it wouldn't.
Well, no, we haven't. I decided to leave Colton alone. I started that group. I said, "Here's our group," but I'm not going to bother you anymore until after tonight, and then we got to start talking.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will contact Dan this week, and we will get our draft order ready. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. You have a great night, and we'll talk to you later.